All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Canada map. This video is mainly going to be focused on population distribution, where people in Canada live, and why they live where they live. But before we do that, I want us to take a look at the Canada map. Now, hopefully, you are playing purposegames.com. You're playing map games at purposegames.com. Hopefully, you've also created your own map and are studying that. You need those two ways to help you out. But I want to show you something that has helped a lot of my students throughout the years in terms of remembering where the provinces and territories are located in Canada. Right? And in order to remember where the provinces are located, we have a term that we're going to use to memorize the first 6 provinces. It makes figuring everything else out a lot easier. So, you ready? BCAS mock. Now, if you're thinking, wait, what did he say? BCAS mock. BCAS mock meaning this. You ready? Well, even if you're not ready, I'm still going to do this on the board anyway. So, BCAS mock. B C A S M. All right. O. Last letter Q. BCAS mock. Now, if you've noticed, there tends to be a theme of weird names for us to memorize different parts of geography when we deal with Canada. Like Smahio, when we're talking about the order of the Great Lakes, from west to east, by the way. But BCAS mock, British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec. BCAS mock. I tell my students this every year, and it helps my students out a ton, because once they have BCAS mock, then it makes figuring out the rest of the territories and provinces in Canada a lot easier. So say that you've got your Canada map test, and you're looking at the map of Canada, and you're thinking, oh no, provinces, territories, I can't remember them. Say to yourself, BCAS mock. British Columbia, BC, Alberta A, Saskatchewan S, Manitoba M, Ontario O, Quebec Q. BCAS mock. You've just knocked out 6 provinces. That's going to make everything else a lot easier. So once you said BCAS mock and you know these 6 provinces here, well, now let's focus on the rest that we have to deal with. So let's go to the territories. Now, the territories are pretty easy because they're all in the same section of Canada. They're in the northwest. So northwest makes it really, really easy. So if you're looking over here trying to find a territory, something's wrong. All your territories are right here. So you have Yukon. We'll just put Yuck for short, all right? So we got Yukon. By the way, that's not a trick to remember it. I'm just putting Yuck there because I can't really write on this board. And put all of Yukon there. We have the Northwest Territories. Ladies and gentlemen, the word territories is in the name. So if we know all the territories are here, Northwest Territory. So I'm just going to put NT for short. And then we have Nunavut. So, Nunavut. Boom. You can come up with your own way to try to remember the 3 territories. Really what I want you to remember is the territories are all in the same place. Yukon, Northwest Territory, Nunavut. The territories aren't going to be over here. They're not going to be in the south here. All the territories are in the north and northwest, okay? Now, remember, Canada is made up of 10 provinces and 3 territories. We've done 6 provinces and 3 territories. So, how do we memorize the other 4? Well, now that you have BCAS mock and you've knocked out most of the provinces, the eastern provinces are really simple. So take, for instance, these 2 down here. Hopefully you have a map in front of you, that will help you out. But we have New Brunswick here, and then we also have Nova Scotia. So here, let's go ahead and use a different color. We'll use green, all right? So you've got New Brunswick there, and then you've got Nova Scotia here. Well, these are the N sisters. The letter N, the the N sisters, New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. Well, how do you remember which is which? Alphabetical order. So think about it. If you were to take a sheet of paper and you wrote New Brunswick, and then underneath it you wrote Nova Scotia, you've written them in alphabetical order because they both begin with the letter N. But New Brunswick is going to be N-E, and Nova Scotia is going to be N-O. Well, think about it. N-E comes before N-O. So it would be N-E, New Brunswick, followed then by Nova Scotia, N-O. Well, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? Here's New Brunswick on the top. It's really not the top. Geographically, this is north. So we're going to say, here's New Brunswick, and to the south, Nova Scotia. So, New Brunswick first, then Nova Scotia. New Brunswick north of Nova Scotia south of New Brunswick. So New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. So they go in alphabetical order. So you have the N sisters that go in alphabetical order. Now, Prince Edward Island, seriously, nobody should miss Prince Edward Island. It's got a name that's kind of hard to forget. And it's an island right here. It's going to be located right there. So that's Prince Edward Island, right? I'll give Prince Edward Island, I'll give it, take that dot out of the way. I'll give it a little bit of pink. Sorry, Prince Edward Island. We'll do a little pink, or not, it's not really pink, it's purple. But we'll do purple in honor of Anne of Green Gables, since if you've ever read Anne of Green Gables is based in Prince Edward Island. That's where the story takes place. Now, I said 4 provinces, and I've only done 3. So we have Newfoundland and Labrador. All right, now by the way, I'm pointing to these. It's reversed, all right? The mainland area is Labrador. This island area is Newfoundland, all right? But this shouldn't be hard. If you've done BCAS mock, if you remember the N sisters, Newfoundland and Labrador should be easy, because think about it. Think about the name. Newfoundland and Labrador. So that's telling you these are 2 different places, correct? But yet we know they're one province. So what's the only province that we have in Canada that has 2 different places? You have the mainland area that's connected to mainland Canada, and then you have the island. The name should give away which province it is, all right? So this is Newfoundland and Labrador. By the way, don't forget, even though it's called Newfoundland and Labrador, Labrador is this land. The island area is Newfoundland. So surprised I don't call it Labrador and Newfoundland, but don't worry about that. The point is, now you have your way to memorize all 10 provinces and your 3 territories. So remember, BCAS mock. Right? Now, let's go to our maps. Population distribution. All right, we're back taking a look at our maps. We're focusing on population distribution. But instead of me using the maps that we created on Tuesday, I'm going to go ahead and use the atlas, because the atlas is a little bit clearer with some things I want you to see. So let's take a look and try to use our shaky cam right here. But look, here is British Columbia. Now, let's see, can you find the major city of Vancouver? Oh look, there's Vancouver right there. And there's Victoria. Victoria is the capital. If we go close, you can see the star there. Victoria is the capital. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I asked you a question and said, hey, Vancouver and Victoria, are they located in the southern half of British Columbia or the northern half? I'm hoping you would say the southern half, because they're located in the southern half, and you also see some other towns and cities here. But the major cities, the capital of British Columbia is located in the southern half. So let's move east to the province of Alberta. So there's Alberta. There's the capital of Edmonton. There is the major city of Calgary. Calgary is actually the largest city in Alberta. Edmonton is the capital. Now, if I ask you, hey, look at those look at the major cities, the capital and the largest city. Are they in the southern half of Alberta or the northern half? And the answer, of course, is the southern half. Let's move east, continuing on. We're in Saskatchewan. All right, now, first of all, this has nothing to do with our lesson, but guess what? You can live in the town of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. which would be pretty cool to say, yeah, I live in Moose Jaw. But that actually has nothing to do with our lesson. So let's go instead to Saskatoon. Saskatoon is the largest city in Saskatchewan, and the capital of Saskatchewan is Regina. And by the way, in America, we would in Canada it's pronounced Regina. I didn't make up the pronunciation. I just tell you what it is. All right. So we've got Saskatoon and Regina. Now, are they in the northern half of Saskatchewan or the southern half? Well, obviously they're in the southern half. Let's go to Manitoba. Manitoba is a little hard because we've got the fold of our book, but you notice the capital is Winnipeg, right there. Well, guess what? Winnipeg is in the southern half. Let's go to Ontario. We've got a lot of major cities. By the way, Ontario has the largest population of any province in Canada. So here's Ontario. Let's go down. Oh, look, there's the capital, Toronto. There's some major cities in Ontario like London, Windsor, and Hamilton. Those are all major cities. You also have the capital of all of Canada, Ottawa, which is located in Ontario. And think about it, they're all in the southern half. You also have Quebec. And look, there's the capital, Quebec City. There's the major city of Montreal. And guess what? They're located in the southern half of Quebec. We've got New Brunswick, we've got Nova Scotia, we've got Prince Edward Island. These are pretty small provinces. But take a look at Newfoundland and Labrador. Where is the capital of St. John's? Here in the southern half of the province. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there should be a question in your mind. Why is it that all the major cities and all of the capitals of the large provinces, why are they all in the south? Well, here's something I want you to write down because I promise you it is going to show up on a test. 90% of Canada's population lives within 100 miles of the U.S. border. So all the major cities, all the capitals are in the southern half because 90% of Canada's population lives within 100 miles of the U.S. border. So why is that? That's a question that you should ask. If I'm telling you 90% of Canada's population lives within 100 miles of the U.S. border, the question you should be asking yourself is, why? All right, we'll take a look here. I'm going to the north part of Canada. There's the territories. Do you guys see this broken line right here that's going across? All right, this broken line, that's the Arctic Circle. That's the beginning of the Arctic Circle. So think about it. The Arctic Circle cuts into the northern part of the territories. That's how far up north Canada is. So if the Arctic Circle cuts through parts of Canada, you know Canada is going to be cold. There's a reason why Canada's nickname is the Great White North, because of how much snow it gets. All right? So Canada tends to be a very cold country. There's a reason why hockey is one of its major sports, even though actually lacrosse is the most popular sport. But hockey is probably the second most popular sport in Canada because of how cold it gets. So that tells you, again, remember, population distribution. When we talk about Russia, we said that 75 to 77% of Russia's population lives in Western Russia because it's the warmer section of Russia, even though it's smaller. In Mexico, we said 25% of Mexico's population lives within Mexico City or around Mexico City. Why? Because the jobs in manufacturing are in that area. Well, if 90% of Canada's population lives within 100 miles of the U.S. border, that's because, in this case, climate. Nobody wants to live, very few people live in these territories. People live in the provinces. Most of the people in Canada are going to live in the provinces, but they live in the southern section of the provinces. Okay? Now, here's what I want from you. I want you to make sure you wrote down that fact that 90% of Canada's population lives within 100 miles of the U.S. border. I'm going to link 2 videos in the description box. Your assignment is to watch both videos, and I want you to write down 10 facts about the geography that you see in each video. All right? So in each video, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter what the people are saying in the video. I mean, it can help you with the geography, but I want you to write down 10 facts that you notice about the geography of the places that you're in. One's going to be a territory up here, and the other is going to be a province. So I want you to hopefully note some differences that you see in the geography of the places. All right? And there will probably be some similarities. That wonderful sound was the bell ringing. So we'll end class. Let me know if you have any questions. Take care, guys.